Включила. Совместное использование. So we are moving to the next slide here, and from current slide. So can you see this? Видно? So we were speaking about the use of these verbs and prepositions in the sentences. Let us listen to the sentences, and actually they are from the conversation between Kimiko and her supervisor, academic advisor. We are going to listen to the some sentences, some extracts from this conversation, and you'll understand what kind of verbs are used in each sentence and what kind of prepositions. Слушаем.
6.2. 1.
To do this, first we coat the surface of the tube.
Вам слышно текст? Запись?
Да.
Okay.
6.2. 1.
To do this, first we coat the surface of the tube with a chemical receptor.
2.
If we want to target a tumor which overexpresses folic acid, then we attach folate receptors to the surface of the nanotube.
3.
And then we encapsulate the drug in the tube.
4.
Once the drug is encapsulated, we use a cap to close the open end so the drug can't escape.
5.
After that, the capsule is internalized by the cell.
6.
I use biodegradable caps. The cap dissolves and then...
Okay, so you see that in the first sentence we use, as Duman has already told us, coat with. Yes, in the second, what do we use? Then we...
Я пропустила эту часть, я хотела записать. Думан, ты услышал?
Now then we attach folate receptors to the surface of the nanotube. Attach, прикреплять, right?
Да.
Number 3.
And then we encapsulate the drug in the tube.
In the tube. The fourth one.
Once the drug is encapsulated, we use a cap to close the open and so the drug can't escape.
Okay. Then after that the capsule is
что-то было там.
Internalized.
Yes, internalized the cell.
By the cell, right?
By the cell, yes. I use biodegradable caps. The cap. Вот эту часть не помню, 6.
Ну, в чем смысл здесь? Вот эта крышечка от капсулы, что она делает? If it is biodegradable, it dissolves, растворяется, and then we continue. So actually we are interested here in the specific verbs and prepositions. So you see that in English, after some specific verbs, we should use some specific prepositions, and they are called dependent prepositions. То есть предлоги, которые используются после определенных глаголов, только определенные предлоги. Like attach to, прикреплять, coat with something, покрывать чем-то, encapsulate in, помещать в капсулу, внутрь, internalize by, усваиваться чем-то. So can you think of any other dependent prepositions, examples of dependent prepositions?
It is interacted with.
So the classical example is depend on, yes, succeed, преуспеть, succeed in, and a lot of other verbs plus prepositions. So here is a humorous example of such dependent prepositions, like verbs with specific preposition. Here, this is afraid, like afraid. Yes, are you afraid of me? No, I am angry with you. So this is like so offend with the. And some more examples of verbs plus prepositions, like to. We use this preposition when we use the phrase get married to someone, вступить в брак с кем-то, belong to someone, принадлежать, listen to. For example, in Russian, we don't use any preposition, слушать музыку, but in English, this is listen to music. Look forward to something, ждать с нетерпением. Say something to someone, talk to someone, write to someone. The preposition for, like ask for something, попросить что-то, apply for something, подать заявление на какую-то позицию, look for, искать, pay for, платить, wait for, ждать. Then the preposition at, arrive at a place. When we speak about a place or event, look at something, смотреть на что-то, laugh at something or someone, смеяться над чем-то или над кем-то, shout at, кричать, smile at, улыбаться. And also preposition in, arrive in a town, in a city. So, and believe in something, верить во что-то, invest in something, вкладывать, инвестировать, and succeed in something. It's like what we have already mentioned. So it's impossible to study all the prepositions just at one lesson, but I'm sure you remember these prepositions, and we should remember what kind of preposition to use with specific verbs when we write so the description of a process in our thesis paper. Now let us look at the sentences. They describe processes in different experiments. So we've listened to Kimiko, and now there are some other experiments, and the task is to match the verb in bold in each sentence to the correct definition. Definitions to the right. I mean that there are some more verbs, some more words that can be useful in description of an experiment or some kind of process. Duman, will you please read the first sentence? Duman?
Ой, я microtome was used to slice 4 micrometer section of the paraffin embedded tissue.
So what is the definition to slice? What do you think?
Slice это что-то вроде типа. Сейчас найду.
This is the slice of cheese in the picture. Slice of cheese. To slice means to make slices. It means to cut something, right?
See?
To cut something into thin, flat pieces. То есть slice это... What's Russian for slice? Кусочек? Кусочек? Тонкий кусочек, да? Чего-то. Okay. Aidana, what about number 2?
As the gas cools, the water vapor condenses and it's caught in the conical flask. Конденсируется, да?
Yes. What is the definition for condenses? To condense?
Maybe to change from a gas to a liquid or solid state.
Right, yes, you're right. So, конденсироваться, да, выпадать из газа, превращаться из газообразного состояния, превращаться в жидкое состояние. Okay, Duman, number 3, please.
Divides into chimneys would filter out radioactive dust. It's remove or take something away.
Yes, filter, фильтровать, убирать какие-то вещества. Right. So, Aidana, number 4. Yes.
Hymethoxylin is Yeltsin stains the cell nucleus blue and the cytoplasm pink stains.
Мгм.
Окей, я, кажется, знала это слово. Это, наверное, to change the color of something using a chemical.
Exactly. This is окрашиваться, yes? Because we are speaking about, yes, blue, yes, and pink. This is about colors. Stain, окрашивать. Okay, Duman, the last one, number 5.
Plutonium 139 was extracted from the sample using the nitric acid to remove solids from the remove solids from liquids or gases. Extract. Right?
No, actually, we were wrong with the with filter. Filter to remove solids from liquids or gases, and here to remove or take something away. Here, this is like the meaning of extract. То есть выделять что-то, да? Двигать что-то, вернее, как remove, выделять что-то из другого вещества или какого-то состояния. Yes, so this is D. Okay, so slice, резать тонкими пластинами, condense, конденсироваться, filter, фильтровать, stain, окрашивать, and extract, извлекать. So these are some verbs which can be useful in description of experiments or processes. And so one more task where we need to write the verbs in the correct form to complete the sentences. So Aidana, will you read the first one?
50 millimeters или
Liters,
micro, да, будет это? Micro.
I guess so.
Microliters test plasma samples were так. Plasma samples were что-то в стерильную воду, да? Purify, наверное. Или no. With
Растворены, растворять. Here it's better to use dilute. What is the form of dilute if we use the passive voice here? В какой форме глагол должен быть использован?
diluted.
Diluted 1 to 10 with sterile water. Right, okay. So Duman, the second one, please.
The remaining material was out from examination. That was what?
Powder, порошок, да, они были стерты в порошок.
Grind into?
So we need to use the past participle, the third form. Grind, ground.
Ground into that.
Yes, was ground to
the remaining material was ground into powder for examination.
Right. So Aidana, the third one, please.
Steam distillation could be used to
Distillation, this is like very clean.
The purify, наверное.
Purify, to purify, yes. So because of its high boiling point. Okay, number 4, please, Duman.
The product was distilled water 4 times using the Emicon filter.
So this is like I missed. Did you
rinse with?
Rinsed, was rinsed with the water. So this is like rinse. We can see this word in just washing machines. Полоскание, да? В стиральной машинке есть такой режим. Okay, was rinsed with them. Okay, and Aidana, number 5.
Number 5. Прочитать надо.
Yes.
When the two deuterons agreed into a law,
We've
no,
used,
no, no,
no.
Fuse together, fuse together.
Yes.
fused together at a low energy, the neutron is liberated with an energy of 2.45 mega electron volt.
Volt. I don't know actually. So what it
Yeah,
means?
correct. It's correct.
What does V stand for? For
Electron volt.
volt. I see. Okay.
Mega
So-
means one power of 9.
I see. Mhm.
Electron means 1.6 kilojoule in 9 minus 32 degree.
I see. You're working encyclopedia, Duman, so you know all the numbers. Okay, you remember them. There is some information about the difference in the use of between with the plus noun and by plus noun. So because here we also used with here. So it says that with is used to introduce the object used to perform the action, like in the sentence. The product was rinsed with distilled water. То есть его прополоскали в дистиллированной воде, да? То есть мы имеем в виду какую-то субстанцию, с помощью чего что-то сделано. This is with. And by, preposition by is used to introduce the agent, the person or thing that does the action. And the example, the product was rinsed by the scientist. Кто сделал это действие, да? Кем это действие было выполнено? То есть we can use several prepositions after some verbs, and it depends on the context, what we mean to speak about, to describe. Зависит от контекста, какой предлог мы должны использовать. So, and we are coming to the task, which will be your home task. You should draw a diagram of a process you are working on or one you know well, and you should describe the process. Нужно изобразить диаграмму и описать этот процесс. So, for example, I know that Aidana can draw the process connected with her nanosatellites and describe this process. As for Duman, I'm not sure what kind of process.
Can I take about gravitation, for example, maybe?
Yes, I mean that you should you can describe something that you know rather well, and something that you can draw some kind of diagram about this, and you should describe the process, and that will be your home task. And I mean that if we go on to the next slide, this is the example how to use the specific structures, the grammar structures in the description of some process. So the task here is to read the extract. This is how Kimiko describes her process of delivering the drugs inside the cells. And the question is, can we improve Kimiko's text? Can we do something with this text? So Duman, will you read it? Then we'll discuss. Duman?
The magic bullet process uses carbon nanotubes to send a drug to a specific target. Firstly, I functionalize the surface of the nanotube by coating it with the chemical receptors. For example, for that target, tumor which overexpress folic acid, folate receptors are attached to its surface. Secondly, I encapsulated the drug molecules with nanotubes, so the tube is capped and the nanotubes are ingested. For example, the patient
Patient.
patient
Then.
patient can swallow them or inhale them or have the capsules injected into them. Once inside the body, the nanotubes located to the target site. Fifth, the target cells internalizes the nanotubes by receptor mediated endocytosis. After that, the cap is either removed or biodegraded, and the drug molecules are released into the cell.
Okay, yes, well done. Can you give any kind of recommendation how to improve this text? Or do you like everything?
I have no idea.
So Aidana, what about you? Any recommendations?
To make it
Uh-huh.
I don't like the structure, not the grammatic part,
Mhm.
but for example, first sentence and then firstly and the dot. Как бы firstly.
Punctuation. Mhm.
Huh?
But you don't like the punctuation, you think it's wrong. So
Yes.
we need comma here, okay?
То есть там нужна запятая, потом так. Да, везде она firstly and secondly нужно ставить запятые. Потом on the surface.
Okay, actually, so we are going to listen to a specialist, just a professor, who gives recommendations to Kimiko about the structure of her text, so the style of her text. And you can see that here, Tom has checked Kimiko's second draft of the material and methods section of her paper, and he has underlined some changes he thinks she should make. So as you see, firstly is underlined, secondly, as Aidana said. So he has underlined this. And some more structures, I functionalize the surface of the nanotube. I encapsulated, for example, the patient can swallow them or inhale them or have the capsule and so on. And now we are going to listen to the conversation between Kimiko and Tom. And so let us focus on these phrases and focus on how he suggests to change these phrases. So we have these examples which he underlined, and now let us listen and try to understand what kind of structures should be used instead of the phrases which are given here.
6.3.
Слышно?
Okay, so
Oh my goodness! Look at all that underlining. My English is so terrible.
oh, Kimiko, no, it's fine, really.
But
I was looking at style rather than grammar. The grammar's fine. Just look at all the parts I haven't underlined. Look, this first sentence is really nice. It gives a really good overview of the aim of the whole process.
okay.
Okay, so style. Like here, I noticed that you've used too many sequencing words. It's okay to use some, but you've got firstly, secondly, even fifth. I used to do the same thing. It's better to just write in order and only use words like then when you really need to. You'll get more natural at it in time. So I'd cut all those words if I were you.
Maybe as I read more papers, I'll write better.
Definitely. Okay, the next thing is that you've said, I functionalize the surface. Remember to keep the writing objective. It shouldn't matter who does the experiment, the result should be the same. So don't use I or we in your write-up.
So what should I say instead?
Use passives instead. So here, the surface of the nanotubes is functionalized. You see what I mean about style? Actually, there is just literally one grammar mistake though. You've said, for target a tumour which da-da-da, but it should be to target. You use to and the verb to say why you do something.
Oh,
Hey, come on. One mistake is really pretty good.
I guess. What about this one? It should say the drug molecules were encapsulated, not I encapsulated, right?
Where are we? Oh, yes. It should be passive. But it should also be in the present tense, not the past.
But why? I thought when I talked about an experiment I'd done, I should use the past.
Well, that's true, but here you're talking about the process in general. It's not about one particular experiment you've done.
Right. So the general process is in the present, but when I go on to focus on my experiments on filling the nanotubes, I should use the past.
Exactly right. Like here, the nanotubes are ingested. I take out this sentence, though, the examples of the ways to ingest the tubes. I mean, it's true, but it's not really relevant to the focus of your research. Never include information the reader doesn't need to understand your work, even if it's interesting.
Okay, then this next sentence should be passive, I guess. The target site is located by the nanotube.
Well, actually, no. Your original sentence is fine. Some verbs can have a non-human subject, so you don't need to use passive, like locate to here, or internalizes in the next sentence. The target cell internalizes the nanotube is completely fine.
So why have you underlined it?
Well, it's fine if you're talking about target cells, but in your text, you've been talking about nanotubes all the time. So that should be your subject.
So I should use passive then, to bring nanotubes to the beginning of the sentence.
Exactly.
Okay. And this last one should be the nanotubes is internalized by da-da-da.
Right. So, anyway, let's have a look.
Well, do you understand what they were speaking about? Aidana?
Yeah. Yes.
Instead of firstly, secondly, fifth, what should she use?
So it will be better for her to just write it in the order, in the like.
Okay.
She should have to use, for example, the words like then,
Yes.
not first
Exactly.
and second.
Yes.
Yes.
Mhm. It will sound
Instead-
more natural. Mhm.
Yes,
Okay.
to sound more natural. Instead of I and we, he suggested to use passive
Yes.
voice. Yes, passives instead of sort of this
Mhm. Active instead of active voice. Mhm.
yes, instead of
Yes.
active voice.
He says that the other scientists can replicate the process, so we shouldn't use I or we because the other people can do the same, right?
Yes, and also she had one mistake, not for target but to target, because she is showing the action, like
Mhm,
the
mhm.
действие, поэтому she have to use to target but not for
Like
target.
another preposition. Mhm.
Uh-huh. And
What about this? The drug molecules were encapsulated. So he suggests to use instead of
present or not
present tense.
yes, present or not simple at tense.
Not past, but present. What was the reason?
Because she's describing a process.
Is it a
And-
specific or general process?
General.
General process. While describing some general process, it's better to use present, not past. Mhm. And
The
last one, the target. Mhm.
and the last one. So the past, last one, the target cells internalizes the nanotube. This one is correct, but she has some words. She was also thinking about to change it into the
Mhm.
passive voice.
Right.
But he suggested to leave it as the same way, but there were some words, как это, лишние слова были там, и он просто их убрал, я так поняла.
So some words that they don't need them, right?
Mhm.
Yes. So he says that there are some facts that scientists do not need, even if they are interesting facts. So, but we do not need them to understand the whole picture. So we should get rid of such kind of words, right?
6 point,
So here's the text, the script of the text, and
6 point,
what Aidana just has told us. So, and the team recommends to replace these words with the other ones. Yes, so you can see about the target cell internalizes the nanotube. The nanotube is internalized by target cells, and I don't know. Okay, you were right. And so about the use of passive voice, this is an important part of any kind of description, scientific description. The passive voice is very popular in scientific articles and scientific papers. So as you remember, the passive voice is formed by using the correct form of the verb to be, which is followed by the past participle. So like it was in the previous, like functionalize, functional is, this is the verb to be, and functionalized, this is regular verb, правильный глагол, поэтому добавляется окончание ed, is functionalized. Если это неправильный глагол, но здесь у нас нет такого, I mean, for example, something is done.
6 point, 6 point,
Something is done, or will be done, or was done, or the letters were written. То есть форма passive voice, форма страдательного залога нам хорошо знакома. So the example here, the surface of the nanotube is functionalized. So this is the example. And it says that it is commonly used in academic writing to move the focus away from the agent into the action. То есть мы фокусируемся не на том, кто выполняет действие, а на самом действии, да? То есть нам само действие интересно, а не тот человек, который это действие производит. So processes and experimental procedures are often described using the passive voice because it should be possible for anyone to replicate them and get the same results. Для того, чтобы кто-то другой, прочитав это описание, мог повторить этот процесс или повторить этот эксперимент и получить те же самые результаты. So in your description, you should also use the passive voice, and you should think about which form of the passive voice is used to the present, if it is general, some general information, or the past, if you describe some specific case which was made by you in the process or experiment. And I think so we can stop here, because I guess it's enough for today. And I know how you like English classes, yes. Так что это здесь приостановить это.